great tradition. Give me just a second so I can put my page in so the wind doesn't blow it away. Of course, McKay Young, the head coach of Star Valley, he's from Soda. Great coach. And so he's got roots here. I'm guessing they've got almost 50 kids out there. And I have to tell you, they've got so many kids that the printing on this roster is so tiny. I take my glasses off, I can actually read it better. I'll make sure I don't lose my glasses, put it in my bag. So give me just a second. You can watch the kids warm up. It's a good look for Soda, all red with black numbers. I don't think Star Valley's changed their uniforms in 50 years. This is going to be a lot to handle tonight for the Cards. I'm thinking I just got to keep this in my hand because I'm not going to be able to read it. Junior varsity ended up 46-18. It's kind of a mismatch. Volleyball last night. Cards lost 3-0. In the conference for football, Declo is 1-0 in the conference, 2-2 on the season. They lost to Teton and Buell, and they beat Nampa Christian and Aberdeen. West Side is 0-0 in the conference, 1-1 on the season. They beat Firth 30-0 and lost to South Fremont 34-30. Malad, who we have next week for homecoming, they don't have a conference game, so they are 0-0, and they are 1-2 on the season. They beat Lyman, Wyoming, 6-0. I have done games in Lyman, Wyoming, Eagles, and they lost. They beat Lyman 6-0, lost to Ryrie 44-12. Soda, first conference game. Well, I haven't played a conference game yet. First conference game will be next week. They are 1-2, lost to American Falls, lost to Ryrie, and they beat Firth for their first win. I'm not sure, first win in 2 years, I want to say, but good for the Cards. Went to Firth and beat the Cougars 13-8. Aberdeen, and they won't stay dead last. They're dead last right now. Tigers are tough. They are 0-1 in the conference with a loss to Declo. 2-1 on the season. They beat American Falls, who we'll say beat Soda. I mean, they beat us badly over in American Falls. And they beat Salmon 39-6, and they lost to Declo 21-14. Let me find the games that we have. So in the conference, it goes Malad, Westside. Westside, Wendell, and Declo are all 2-1. Malad is 3-0. Soda 0-2, and Aberdeen 0-4. Turn some pages here. I think I've got the games going on tonight. I have no feeling in my fingers, so it's hard to turn pages. Let's see. Trying to work through the volleyball. There's the football again. So next week, Malad will be at Soda. That'll be homecoming. And then West Side will be at West Side down in Dayton to face the Pirates the following week. Then it will be Declo on the 10th here. And somebody correct me, Bear Lake has filled in the Wendell schedule. So we'll have the Bears here, and that's always fun. And then we'll finish with Aberdeen at Soda. So the 17th, even though it doesn't show it on the schedule, it will be it'll be Bear Lake. I know I've got the football schedule here tonight somewhere. The college. You wonder why I'm turning pages. Because my printer doesn't work. And I handwrite everything in a little book. Man, I know I wrote those all down. I could tell you every game tonight. But I'll be danged if I can find them. I do know Grace is 4-0. North Gym is 3-1. Now, darn it, I can't find them. So we'll just bear with that. We've got about 10 minutes left before we have opening ceremonies here at Soda Springs. Football for me is always kind of tough to read. I can't read with my glasses on, but without my glasses, I can't see the kids out on the field. The eye doctors, I can't read it from there. I'll use my binoculars. But so Haley was just asking me if I could see the numbers on the computer, and no, I can't. I'll use my binoculars and leave my glasses off. I know I have college. Let's talk about that for a second. I'm still looking for the high school schedule. Nah, I must have tore it out. Okay. College tomorrow. BYU. They are 2-0, and they beat Stanford 27-3. Beat Portland State 69-0. They had a bye last week, and they'll be clear out on the East Coast, almost as far east as you can get. Greenville, North Carolina, to face the Pirates of East Carolina. Next week, they'll be in Boulder to face Colorado. And then West Virginia, the following week, will be at BYU. Boise State, the Broncos are 1-1. Lost to South Florida in Tampa, big. 34-7. That South Florida team is for real. And then they beat Eastern Washington 51-14. Had a bye last week. This week they are at Air Force. And then the following week, Appalachian State will be at Boise. And then the week after that, October 4th, the Boise State Broncos will go to Notre Dame. They'll go to South Bend to face the Irish. Utah State 2-1. Beat UTEP to start the season. Bronco Mendenhall's initial game. And they lost to Texas A&M 44-22. Beat Air Force last week 49-30, and I think that was at Air Force. So this week they have McNeese State in Logan. That's tomorrow. And they are from Lake Charles, Louisiana. And then the Aggies go to Nashville to face Vanderbilt, to face the Commodores. Then they have a bye, and then they'll go to, they'll be at Hawaii. Idaho, 2-1. They lost to Washington State in their opener, 13-10. Beat St. Thomas of California, 37-30. No, and they beat Utah Tech. I know I live in Idaho, but I'm kind of from St. George, and it'll never, ever be Utah Tech. It's always Dixie. 20-6 was that score. That was in Moscow. So the Vandals, they are at San Jose State tomorrow, and then the next week they are at Montana. Then they have a bye, and the Northern Colorado Bears will be in Moscow. Idaho State, they are 0-3. Lost to UNLV 38-31. Lost to Southern Utah down in Cedar City 46-24. Lost to New Mexico in Albuquerque 32-22. And this week they've got Lincoln, California at ISU. Next week they'll have the Bears of Northern Colorado. About 5.5 minutes. Well, if you call Weber State a local school, they lost to James Madison. They hook up with the Dukes every year, home and home. They went out east this time. They lost to Arizona. They beat McNeese State. And they have Butler in Ogden this Saturday. And then Weber travels the following week to UC Davis. And just for the fun of it, this is just for me. Utah Tech / Dixie. They are 0-3. Lost to UC Davis, lost to Northern Arizona, and lost to Idaho. They've been on the road, I think, all three of those games. And they'll have Northern Iowa, which has a pretty good team every year. They'll be in St. George tomorrow. And then Utah Tech Trailblazers travel to Austin Peay. I wish I'm still thumbing through my book. I know. Here's part of it. I must have tore some pages out. North Gym, they are at Garden Valley today. Grace is at Glens Ferry. North Gym is 3-1. Grace is 4-0. I kind of got a schedule. Sugar's at Kimberly. Century's at Shelley. Snake is at South Fremont. Parma is at West J. Star Valley's here. Highland is at Thunder Ridge. Basalt, Colorado is at Teton. Jackson, that's always a good matchup with Bear Lake. Bears are 0-3. And rumors, not this year, but maybe next year, Bears are dropping back down into our conference. Madison's at Blackfoot. American Falls is at Buell. Preston is at Burley. Melba is at Declo. Skyline is at Hillcrest. And Bonneville is at Idaho Falls. How about that? I did find a football schedule. Coming down to about 2:48. See Marsh Valley, just kidding. Star Valley, warming up to my right. I can't count them, but they at least have over 50 kids out there. So we'll see how much of their main varsity that they play. They are or were. Wyoming's break is a little different. Star Valley was 3A. They would play Lander and Cody and Riverside. They, under McKay Young, for the last bunch of years, even won a couple of state championships that I got to see because Cokeville was there. Got to go to UW, a great stadium, and just great people that work at the stadium at the University of Wyoming. I had to park clear over on the east side, and then you go around the top of the football field, past the athletic facilities, clear over to the press box. Can I mention that again? And then you have to take an elevator up to the press box. There was a guy in a wheelchair, and he checks my press pass. And, oh, you're from Cokeville. I'll take you out. And he did in his wheelchair. We were playing Bighorn. Captains are meeting in the center of the field. And then there was a lady at the top waiting for me. And I come out of the elevator and she says, "More Cokeville, follow me." It was so awesome. She put me in the best booth that they have at the University of Wyoming. And she said, "There's going to be some people sitting behind you," because it was a big booth, main booth. And she said, "Is that going to be okay with you?" And I said, "No, it doesn't bother me." But come to find out, it was the University of Wyoming's athletic director, the head of the referees, head of their athletic association for Wyoming. They were sitting behind me. But they said the broadcast was okay, except Bighorn beat the heck out of us. 20 seconds. Let's see what they show. Star Valley will receive. And again, their roster is so tiny. I do have some weights. 245, 225, 255, 260, 270, 250. They're huge. Captains are meeting again. Maybe they threw up a wooden nickel and it didn't count, and they got to do it again. Referees probably just telling them that you go to your corners and come out, clean fight, no hitting below the belt. Now they're going to reverse. No, they're not. So they're just going back to the west, Star Valley, over to the far side. Give me a second. I've got to use my glasses to read. I really appreciate Shawnee. She does such an awesome job. She ran me up a Star Valley roster.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Archer Field, home of Cardinal football.
To read the roster, I have to put my glasses on my nose.
Cardinals.
That almost sounded like Craig Robinson, but usually it's normally Garbutt who does such a great job on the PA. We will stand up. I'll take my soda hat off and show my white hair. They're going to honor MIA's lost soldiers in the last wars. VFW and Soda, they're pretty active.
Escorting the colors of our great nation. Assisting our local veterans.
They'll bring the flags out.
HS football team.
A couple of football players bringing the colors out. This Idaho State flag, and then they've got the military flags. Everybody standing. I just look across the field at Star Valley. They just scare the heck out of me. They'll bring the flag probably to midfield. The VFW is waiting at midfield. So the football players bringing out all the flags. They'll spot the American flag at the east 30-yard line. Then they'll spread the flags out, all the military flags and the Idaho State flag. They stretch from the 30-yard line down to the 30-yard line. They will play taps. We'll see if we can pick that up for you. I hope those weren't loaded. VFW with 3 shots to honor the missing in action. Wow, that's nicely done by the Soda Springs BFW.
We will now bring on our national anthem.
Now
Performed
the
by
national
HSHS Pep Band.
pep band will perform the national anthem. The flag is on the northeast side, over by the pine trees.